the ground, sprinkle with the perfume, and spread with the flowers. The great mountains, fallen sun and moon, scenes as the Buddha land, and offer thus. May all beings enjoy such a pure land. Yedam Guru Radha Mandala Gamneya Dayame. I take refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I achieve enlightenment by the power of the goodness that I collect by practicing giving and other perfection. May I become a Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. I take refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I achieve enlightenment by the power of the goodness that I collect by practicing giving and other perfection. May I become a Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. I take refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I achieve enlightenment by the power of the goodness that I collect by practicing giving and other perfection. May I become a Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. May all sentient beings and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings never be separated from their happiness. May all sentient beings dwell in equanimity, free from hatred and attachment. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and causes of suffering. May all sentient beings dwell separated from their happiness. May all sentient beings dwell in equanimity, free from hatred and attachment. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings never be separated from their happiness. May all sentient beings dwell in equanimity, free from hatred and attachment. Okay. Hello, good evening, Tashi Delay, everyone. Yes, and Tuesday class here, we have a three sections or 3 parts. The first part, I share with you about motivation, and also the things that I like to share which is related with the motivation, so I go on with that. So that's the first part of our Tuesday gathering here. And then second part of Tuesday class here is to share things. There's no particular subject that I have chosen. So it's open subject matter, so most of you know now. So it's about whatever subject that you like me to share, or you like us to, you like to share with us. So we just discuss about it. It could be meditation, it could be anything that related with your Dhamma practice. So that's about second part. And then third part of our Tuesday gathering here is we meditate together. So we do guided meditation. Sometimes I just ask to meditate whatever topic you like to. You choose yourself. I think the last 2 Tuesdays we meditate on karma. And of course, we always begin our meditation here with the first breathing meditation for bringing our focus and concentration, or at least some calm within our mind, that I can able to focus on whatever meaning they like to meditate. So we start with the breathing meditation, and then I guide them to meditate on. Last 2 weeks we did on karma. Let's see what we will do. Still have no. If you like to have anything subject that you like to share with us, to let us meditate, so then we can meditate on that too. Anyway, let's begin with the first part. Yes, I always ask you to listen, teaching or share Dhamma in here today with the positive motivation. The motivation, that mind that wish to benefit every other sentient beings, every other sentient beings, that out of that mind we share, we learn, we meditate, we do things, and then whatever we have learned, the meaning, and we really hope and wish so much to be able to put into practice to be able to benefit every other sentient beings. At the same time, I always remind each of my class, whether sometimes longer, sometimes short, but I always remind 3 most important practice, which is generating motivation in your mind, beginning of your day, beginning of your class, beginning of your meditation practice, beginning of your action of helping someone or somebody, or beginning of every good deed. It will be always nice to generate positive motivation in our mind. That's the first most important practice. And then a second most important practice is to maintain that motivation throughout your day by recalling, by remembering. Example, if I have generate compassion in my mind as a motivation, and as you spend your day going to work or going to do things with your friends, or working at at home with your family members, and however, it will be always nice to remember time to time that my motivation is compassion. So keep that, because speaking in the base of my experience, it's easy to forget about having compassion in my mind as a motivation. So, and particularly when I face difficult situation in my day, I can easily react out of frustrated mind or negative state of mind, and that is really not helpful at all. So once we remember, and then make sure that I hold positive motivation in my mind when I face difficult situation. So I always do things with positive motivation. So, and that will protect my mind from losing from the positive side into negative side. So that becomes very, very helpful from every direction. From accumulation point of view, I only accumulate positive action, positive karma from that. But the situation what is facing within our life, it is happening with the negative state of mind, it won't make better. It won't change the situation into better. Plus, it can turn into more negativities. At least it will become very directly what we know, what becomes very negative is within my mind. Within my mind, it fully becomes negative. That's why the second most important practice is carrying that time to time. Remember, yes, this is my motivation. Like that. Just, of course, whatever we have to do, we can continue to do, but the mind is not completely forget about the positive motivation that we have generated. It's nice to keep that way. And then the last or third most important practice is like end of your day, which is about to go to when you are about to go to bed, or at the same time also like end of our class here when we are about to leave, and also when you meditate, end of your meditation, also end of helping someone when you help someone, give medicines, give food, or carry them there, and then now you did something wonderful job, right? Wonderful task. So end of that action, what you have done, you have created wonderful karma, from the term that used from the Buddhism. However, you have created positive action. And those positive action is within your mind now. And then what we were taught is we should really dedicate for every other sentient beings. That is also a practice of giving. However, the point here is we don't want these positive actions to remain in my mind very safe in not a safe way. Means sometimes when I develop anger or when I develop any negative action within my mind, it can weaken or it can destroy. So our positive action needs to be protected, and the dedication is one of the practices to protect our positive action from losing, from becoming weakened. So that's why, end of the day, end of practice, please dedicate. So these three practices that I always share, and at the same time I also share with you different time the reasons that how the generating positive motivation in our mind is important. I also share different reasons, and but the point here is to really to develop the kind mind, the mind that the mind that only the mind that focus on not only myself, everyone. And also, when I view myself and everyone, what type of aspect of mind I generate is a positive. Because it's very important, because here, the things that we talk about in our world, which is one of the very, very, very famous term that everybody likes to say, like a peace, right? And also we were very, in the world, every religion or even non-religion, they talk about being compassion. Right? Wonderful thing. But again, the motivation, how it related with that is because compassion is not, actual compassion is also a state of mind. And also has to start from our, it really has to start from our mind. And the peace that we talk about also is state of mind. It also starts from within our mind. And at the same time, we talk about the problems and our difficulties and all of those situations. Those situations, also the problems that we spoke, also the difficulties they're also state of mind. Based on the mind tuning teachings, the happiness and unhappiness are also state of mind. Problems and what do you use for the opposite of problem? Do you have any terms in English opposite of the problem? Anyways, but the main point is the problem that we face in our daily life. They say, I have a problems now. Basically, it's the state of mind too. So, what is happening within our mind, from the mind tuning teachings point of view, what is happening outside of our mind in our one day look at? One thing is pretty sure, that is what happened, day like morning dawn, and day in the morning and sunrise, and day starts, and then things moves, right? And we get up, and there's some news that we hear, maybe we like to hear. There are some news that we hear we don't like to hear. And then time moves, becomes 7 o'clock, and 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. It just goes. And what happens in our external world, that continues to happen. Some people view that situation as a problem. Some people view that situation as a non-problem. Everyone will have a different experience based on that situation, based on how our day moves. But based on that, what it proves to all of us is they are simply situationed. They are not really that we can say as a happiness. That are not really we can say they are really unhappiness. They are simply situations that is happening. And how I started to feel peace and how I started to feel unpeaceful is all up to me, that how I really view those situations. Really, how I really my mind to view that situations, and that really makes much peaceful or unpeaceful. Only that is a borderline of it, and so. And at the same time, we also need to look. We also talk about the between the cause and condition. The peaceful mind arises from its own cause and condition. An unpeaceful mind arises from its own cause and condition. Peaceful situation arises from its own cause and condition. Unpeaceful situation also arises from its own cause and condition. So, and that, speaking about that, peaceful mind arises from its own cause and condition. Now, question is, what is the cause of peaceful mind? What is the cause of unpeaceful state of mind? So, and one first thing we have to know is there's nothing that exists outside our mind that can be real cause of peaceful mind. There's nothing that exists outside our mind that can be cause of unpeaceful mind, as well as cause of compassion and cause of compassion too. So here, speaking really, looking that, one first was what I was sharing with you. The other part, the second was the relationship between cause and effect. Looking at that really teaches us how important to create cause and condition that makes that brings within that brings peaceful mind within a peaceful state of mind within my mind, not outside. So that lead us to see how important to really develop positive motivation within my mind, because the positive motivation, then it brings it led us to develop the peaceful state of mind, happy state of mind, compassion, and all of that. Negative state of mind, such as anger or jealousy and hate and all of those in mind, will let my mind to feel very, very unhappy. And no matter what situation that we get, no matter what we got, nothing can really able to turn into making me more happy and more peaceful because of negative motivation. So that's why it is essential for all of us to really begin our day with the developing positive motivation. And here, what we have learned, and based on the mind training teachings, based on the Buddha's teachings, what we really have learned about developing or about generating positive motivation, we have learned from thinking about this present human life that we have. This present human life. And what Buddha taught here is first to recognize this present human life, how precious it is. And then Buddha also taught us to look at that, to look at this. When we say this is precious, means we are not disrespecting or looking down on other type of life, other kind of life, but what we are trying to see is we're trying to make sure that I can able to look at this life that can able to achieve the wonderful, meaningful things with this human life. And also, Buddha also taught us to look at this life with all the conditions that we experience, that we have now, are result of so many causes and conditions. So many causes and conditions. Mainly, the cause are not only by me. Also, there are so many common causes. Look at the society or the place where we live now. There's so many conditions that provide us, which gives us so many different opportunity, different the many advantages that we have. We got that as a result of many common causes. So seeing all of this, recognizing this present life as a precious, seeing the meaningful things that we can achieve, and also seeing it as a result of so many causes and conditions, means it is not easy to get, not easy to achieve, not easy to achieve. So realizing that, understanding of that, through this lead our mind to see that I must take every advantage. I must take every advantage that I have now to order to achieve the meaning or essence of this life without wasting. The point is that. Point is, and also it is very true that what Buddha taught us, saying that based on the fact that when we try to recognize this human life as a precious, he talk about eight leisure, eight freedom. Based on, he used one of the being that are visible to us are animal. He uses animal. Of course, there are animal in general. Of course, in general, we all are same like a sentient being. But what Buddha described is based on the human condition. What is different? What makes difference is we as a human. Yes, the ability we have within our mind is we can understand. When we say things, when we try to describe the meaning of this and this, when we say, oh, this is the meaning of compassion, or this is the meaning of karma, this is the meaning of that, human can able to understand because that human have that kind of, that condition. But when we try to explain that to animal, in general, it won't happen. That's why what Buddha describes saying that as a human, we have a freedom or a leisure to be able to turn our mind into positive from the negative state. We can able to stop developing negative state of mind. We can understand when you share things, what is a negative state of mind, what negative state mind will do, what positive state mind will do. So human can listen and think about and understand and believe on that. So that's why Buddha is mainly when he talk about a human being precious, is not just because of human are free from samsara, human are free from problem. Not from that point of view is, but with human condition will give us can able to transform our mind completely into positive, completely into liberation, completely into enlightenment. So that's why Buddha led us to recognize this now. It's almost like, see, one of the example teaching uses here is even in our human life, if you get some machine. If someone loan you some types of machine, and that machine can make a lot of product, and then you can sell it. But if someone is lending you that, and then tell you I'm going to lend you for 1 month, then you have to give it back to me. Then what I will do is I will try to use that machine within 1 month as much as I can. Isn't it similar when Buddha described about this present human body? He said this body is impermanent but not forever. But while you have it, it can produce. If I use it, it can really able to produce internal quality. It can really able to develop in a really wonderful realization. Term that uses in teaching called dharma, which is a Sanskrit term, which means it's a really protecting or realization of realization of reality, or protecting our mind from experiencing any types of sufferings or problems. So that wisdom and that protection can able to achieve with using this human form. That makes this, from that point of view, this human life in one term, in one way, it look at as a precious. That's why Buddha says, recognize this life as a leisure. He go on with eight different types of freedom. The one that I just shared with you, the animal, being free from animal, so means with that condition, I have the condition to be able to transform my mind into dharma. And there are other form of other condition that Buddha have also touched, but we won't go there today. But anyway, so the 8 leisure, and then he talk about the 10 fortune, 10 wonderful condition that which we have now. From the physical point of view as well as from external point of view. Example now here, the dharma that what we are sharing now. It's not just happened because of me. It happens from many cause and conditions that we have collected, commonly. And it exists, but we don't know how long that is going to happen. In the past, this world exists more than millions and millions of years ago, but the teaching that we are sharing only been exists 2,500 years ago, only that. And then we don't know how long it's going to last also. So, but we were born at the right time that teaching is here available, and there are friends who can share with each other, and I myself have this interest of doing it. So looking at every direction, the way Buddha described is conditions from internally and externally all have happened together. So that's why it shows or describe that is a wonderful, 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 opportunity we have, and we must. And not only that, then we can achieve it, because past, look at those great meditators, practitioners, what they have achieved. They have achieved all this kind of, all wonderful meaning within their mind, achieve liberation, achieve full enlightenment. We can do that too. So that's why the point here is to really develop the mind that see that I must not waste, and I must really use to achieve the essence or meaning of this life. So anyway, so this is one step, and also the second point that I share with you is impermanent. Why? Because the way we look at it, yes, I have a mind that wanted to achieve the meaning or essence of this life, and I will think when, maybe slowly or later, and according to the situation or according to the fact, we can't say that because it's impermanent. If I really understand that I should use each and my life to achieve the essence or meaning of this life, when should I start? Means I should start from today or from now, because it's impermanent. And is it true? We know that, right? We know our life and ours, is very impermanent. So what Buddha described in the teachings says that life is certainly going to face gross impermanent. Among those gross impermanent, he used one is experiencing death. So it's certainly going to meet. When that is going to happen is uncertain. It can happen anytime. No age can make difference on it. And when that really happened, what can really benefit and protect my mind and my life is the realization that you have developed, understanding or wisdom that you have developed, also the good merit or the virtues or the good karma that you have accumulated, which is within your own, that can really able to benefit us. There's nothing other than that can benefit. Even my body will not protect or benefit me at that time. Only the quality or virtue or wisdom or dharma which I developed within my mind can only protect me or benefit me or guide my in my journey. So seeing and realizing that, really realizing this, I must start to achieve the essence or meaning of this life from now, without waiting, without wasting even one day. And by doing what? By really trying to develop dharma and wisdom and realization and good or virtues within my mind as much as I can. I always share, again, when I share this point, I always share, this is not talking about also changing lifestyle. We can start doing that from today with continuing our lifestyle what we have now. From Dharma practice, it's very flexible, very, very flexible. Someone who have a life like, as a family life, and this type of life, that type of life, this type of life, all different types of life we have, individually. So we can continue to, based on your wish, whatever we wish, like to keep our lifestyle, continue to keep. But then Dharma practice can be really integrate, mix with our life we have. So, so it means we don't have to change the lifestyle that we have. We don't have to give up things physical what we have now. We can continue to have our family and then bring Dharma practice in our life and always maintain that Dharma practice with our daily activities, and that becomes wonderful. So anyway, so here, precious human life and impermanent. And what happens also, Buddha says, what happens if impermanent happens now, means if I come to experience death now, we must understand that in this line, it teaches us saying, it's what is happening simply, my mind is departing from this body. I'm not becoming non-existence. I will continue. I separating from this present body. This body is not I. This body is using as a basis where I can live now. It's not just like when I travel, staying in a hotel. I'm using this body as like a motel where I stay in a hotel. When I leave the hotel. It doesn't come with me. Similar, when end of my life, when I die, the body like a hotel will stay and I depart from this body. So I continue. Also Buddha described one of the examples he uses, a candle. The candle, when you turn off, it doesn't continue. But our life is not like that. Our life continues. So he used, don't view our life as a candle. Because a candle, once you turn off, that continuing light does not exist. So it stopped it. It discontinued. But our life continues. When I stop breathing with this present body, it does not mean that I become non-existent. I depart from this body and takes another rebirth. And that process, and also Buddha in mind training teachings describe how that is happening, how this happens is based on relying on a cause and condition. Also relying on a cause and condition. Karma, the cause is the karma. Condition is my way of thinking. My way of thinking. So there are many positive karma that I have within my mind. There are a negative karma that I have within my mind. I'm not free from them at this time. I have both karma within my mind. And they both can ripe if I help them to ripe. So my negative way of thinking will help negative karma to ripe. My positive way of thinking will help my positive karma ripe. Example, when I let my mind to feel more compassion, more faith, more understanding, more kind, and that always fertilize or help to positive karma to ripe. When I develop anger, more negativities, more jealous, more upset, more unhappy, and those type of mind will help the negative karma to ripe. So here, in the process of in the process of generating positive motivation, look at that situation. What happens if I die? I won't become non-existing. I just depart from this path. And how that's based on the karma. And then imagine that if in the end of my life, when I'm about to die, when my negative, if with the help of the negative karma, such as maybe like very upset feeling or distrust feeling, and those can help negative karma to ripe, and as a result of that, what happens based on the Buddha's teaching, based on mind training teachings, I take new birth as a result of the negative karma in unfortunate realm. That's what, but we'll talk about that more later, but this is how Buddha described. And if positive karma arrives with the help of the positive way of thinking, such as faith or compassion or love, and then it will guide my mind to take again a new birth in one of the the fortunate realm, could be like a human or others. And here, these two, one is fortunate form realm, fortunate realm, and one is a low realm or unfortunate realm. And these two realms are the places where I as a sentient being will take rebirth when I die. So then another step to look at here is when that happens, what is going to happen is experiencing their nature. Nothing other than that. Experiencing their nature and their suffering. Experiencing their nature and their suffering. If right now I as a human going through all different types of human sufferings and human natures. Right? There are animals that we see, they are also experiencing animal sufferings. And if I take rebirth as a human, I will experience human nature again. If I take rebirth as an animal, I will experience animal sufferings. So in that category, in that category, really in the teachings teaches us the nature of human, and nature of animals, and nature of other realms, to look at, to teach us what actually they really experience. Like a human, what we experience, we experience suffering of birth. And at the same time, we started to suffering of aging, every moment, suffering of aging. And then we experience suffering of sickness, different types of sickness. Not comfortable. I'm not comfortable with this. I'm not comfortable with that. My mind is not. So there's all different types of, all different types of sickness that we experience, physically, mentally, both. I'm not, when I develop anger or when I develop some certain that I'm experiencing suffering of sickness in mentally. When I experience some physical pain and here and here and here, as also, suffering of sickness. There's no one no human being who are not experiencing suffering of sickness. They do, and then very last, we experience suffering of dying. That's a common between all of us, everyone. So Buddha really teaches. Remember, if you have seen Lord Buddha Shakyamuni's life story, he talked about visiting 4 doors and meeting, old, very a senior old person. Cannot able to walk cannot able to walk nicely, cannot able to walk comfortably. And then the second door he saw there's a sick person, and third door he saw there's a dead body, or and the fourth door he have seen some meditators. Like, remember, this is also the one way of learning, by learning the nature of human, by learning his life story. So similar in continue, he taught about that. So this is the one thing, and then again, another nature is the nature of every one of us, not only human or not only animal. Every sentient beings, who have the mind like you and I, are experiencing suffering or nature that we call it suffering of samsara in general. Everyone. 3 types. It says pervasive suffering, and suffering of changing. We experience continuous. Pervasive suffering is our own body. My body. This is a basis that provides me as a base for me to experience sufferings. And then suffering here. On top of that, I experience different types of suffering. And the suffering of changing. See, every moment, every minute, there is a suffering of changing that we experience. And then we'll also talk about the suffering of samsara in general, which are 6 types, which is first one, suffering of no certainty. Look at it, our life. There's no certainty. There's no certain relationship that I have within between myself, with my body, and with anybody else, with any situation. And also suffering of no satisfaction. Whatever we got, in whatever I achieve, inside my mind there's no real satisfaction. Means there's always something more that I desire. So here, the suffering of no satisfaction, and suffering of changing our life status again and again, suffering of taking rebirth again and again, and also suffering of loneliness. These are all the nature of samsara that every one of us experience. So here, and that with that, and also Buddha teaches us, these are all basically comes from one of the fundamental cause is karma, and that karma mainly comes from our delusions. We'll talk that, but here, so delusions, out of delusions, we accumulate different types of karma. As a result of the karma, we we take rebirth in this samsaric world, and by taking birth in samsaric world, what happened is we experience this nature. So there is no freedom in the samsara from about experiencing its nature, because of that is their nature. And that nature and that samsaric birth and samsaric nature basically have rise rise from its own cause, that is its own karma. And that karma is accumulated by whom? By me, by the power of what? By the power of my own delusions. So that is a process we share, and then in also process of developing motivation, we also think about the nature of samsara. We also wish to, by realizing, by seeing that entirely, and then we wish for myself to get free from taking rebirth in low realm. We wish to achieve freedom from entire samsara, and then at the stages of developing positive motivation, we also look other sentient beings. And Buddha constantly teaches us, everyone whom I see, who they are to me is they number one. He taught us saying, they all been my mother. Everyone have been my mothers, and everyone have been everyone have been kind to me, very kind to me. And so first recognize them as our mother, and also then second, recognize the kindness that I have received from them, and third, wish to repay the kindness that I have received from them, and then great compassion, great loving kindness, and extraordinary compassion, which is a mind that wish to take responsibility of freeing them and giving them happiness. And the last one is enlightenment mind. So it's a long, I just ended up going there and there and there today, but point here is, as we becoming very interested of turning our mind into positive state, and it has to be done based on a fact, not just based on imagining or based on creating something that does not exist. So because of that, Buddha first wants us to really have a mind that really wish to achieve, that is not like a mind that is not just maybe, not like that. So that's why he talk about the precious human life that we have now. So let us develop the mind that really wanted to achieve the essence. And then second, he talk about impermanent, because we also don't want it to say later. He's saying, do it now. It's just giving you more, a more push from your own understanding to strive to achieving the essence of meaning of this life from now, from today, like that. And then when he talk about karma, and that means is also make sure that in my life, whether I meditate or not meditate, I make sure that I do not let myself to create negative karma at all. Within this, what we have to know, one thing is, I am in the situation not free from not accumulating karma at this time. Buddhas are free from that because there's no delusion within their mind. Since living in this samsara, I have no choice at this time not creating karma, not creating action. So here is the point here is, since I have no choice not to creating it, then I rather create only positive action, positive karma. So here, when we talk about karma, is that. Then, when I share with you the nature of samsara, nature of a human, because that is what point is here. We get so much most of our frustration arise from not realizing there are human nature and there are samsaric nature. And point is that let my mind to realize these nature that I go through in my daily life are human nature, samsaric nature. As long as I am human, I will experience human nature. As long as I am samsaric being, I will experience samsaric nature.
As long as it is water, it will always remain as a wet, its nature. So with realizing this, my mind, I can at least reduce the frustration that I usually develop easily, become lesser. So I can say this is a human nature. Let's accept it. Let's focus more into becoming those situations to develop more positive state of mind, rather than developing frustration in my mind. So that is the point of it. And then when we talk about knowing other as being my mothers, remembering their kindness, wishing to repay kindness, means again not letting, based on a fact, which is based on a fact, having only kind mind towards others. Kind mind, compassion, love, no matter what is happening there, no matter how reaction I receive from others, there's no other options. Always try to keep kind mind towards other sentient beings. And based on that, we can really talk about developing great compassion, great loving kindness. Otherwise, there's no compassion. If I make an exception between, if I say he's good to me, I be compassion to you, I will feel compassion. He's not good to me, I don't like to have a compassion to it. That's become very, discriminating it. Discriminating it. So it's always looking something back, hoping return. So based on that, when I try to have some good, some kind of liking mind or not liking mind, that is basically really happening. What you say is in the teaching, you say one is attachment, one is a hate. When someone who is nice to me, when I develop some liking mind, that is attachment. When someone is not nice to me, and when I develop some not positive mind, that what it says is please. Anyway, so that's why I said the point here is to really develop the positive, to really able to, with this, then there is a compassion can really able to develop, the loving kindness can really able to develop, and there is extraordinary mind can really able to develop here. But before I end moving to I want to say one more thing here. Compassion and the loving kindness, the loving kindness that taught by mind training teachings must focus on every other sentient beings without exception. So from that point of view, without having a kind mind or positive mind towards others, how can anyone can develop great compassion and great loving kindness, right? So no way. So that's why these are the mind that we study. These are the meaning that we try to train our mind into it. These are by training our mind into this meaning, we try to transform our mind into positive. We try to turn our action into positive. So through that, we try to become more positive, more kind, more kind towards everyone, including myself. Okay, so I'll now start with my first part. Today I think it went quite long. Okay, now I'm moving to the second part. If you have any subject that you like to share each other, if not, then yeah, Chris, go ahead.
Due to like a habitual karma, I notice like my eye consciousness wants to grasp at things too much. Like you say, don't focus on your five senses. Try to develop your mental consciousness, right? You say don't rely on your senses consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
But like you just said, so like when we ride the subway, or we have to live in New York City, so with so many people, I mean, how do we not how do we really see everyone without exception and without grasping?
The grasping is happening from your mental consciousness. Your eye is just viewing them and seeing this and that, And your eye, what happens is the eye consciousness gives information to your mental consciousness immediately, and your mental consciousness will start to think whether it's right or wrong or good or bad or grasping this and that, like it, not like, all of that. It's your eye consciousness is simply just, seeing, or seeing. The grasping is still happening within our mental, our mental consciousness. So what I was saying early, just what he brought here is our society, this world that is so much focusing on creating the object to please our senses consciousness, and very, 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 almost no any product, let's say, that focus on developing more kind mental consciousness. There's so many products they produce. Example, they try to produce so much different music to listen you to, different things to see, different things to smell, different things to taste, and different things to wear to make feel your senses conscious. These are all so much focus on senses consciousness, and believing in that when we please our senses consciousness, then I can be happy, or they can be happy, right? But in the reality, it's not that. If our mental consciousness is not happy, no matter what smell you smell, whatever delicious food that you get, if your mind is not in state of happiness, at least state of neutral, they won't. I won't. When I see, even if you bring me my favorite food, when I'm in a state of anger, I will feel not happy. If someone brings me my favorite food when I'm in the state of anger, I say, "What are you doing now? Take it away!" So it's here. Just learning the mind training teachings point of view, it's mainly focusing on turning our mental consciousness into positive state, because the karma mainly is created by mental consciousness. Example, look at now, compassion is not senses consciousness. It's not a senses consciousness. Compassion is a mental, senses consciousness cannot able to think, cannot able to, think its, meaning. If my mental consciousness is not working properly, even my senses consciousness works perfect, doesn't work in general. I can see things as a yellow or red, or that I can smell things. If my mental consciousness is not functioning, if there's some problem with it, and then everything becomes a problem. Everything becomes very difficult. So, yes, of course, the senses consciousness is very important, because if you don't see things, it's become difficult physically. If you don't hear things, it's become difficult. But yes, the positive state of mind and negative state of mind that we talk, anger that we often get, jealousy that we often get, compassion that we always talk about, it's all mental state of mental consciousness. So here, in Buddhism, I think produces a lot of product to really develop, really producing a lot of product to develop the mental, the kind, focusing on really developing, the positive mind within our, the mental consciousness. Yes?
How do you face people? You are in a fine state of consciousness, but other people that are not in that state will come to you as trouble. How do you face that? I know someone that's very difficult state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what you tell her, what situation you try to explain, the karma is not able to realize and see it. How do you deal with it?
Here, number one, from myself to controlling others, it is a difficult situation for everyone, number one. Because I do wish you and I do wish everyone to be free from whatever struggle they are going through, mentally or physically, both. But at the same time, I must be aware that I am not any level that I can able to free them from experiencing their problems. At the same time, I also should know that I can try my best to do whatever I can. I think this is the basic understanding that we have to have it within our mind when I do anything to help for others, my friend or anybody. So let's see, he or she is going through trouble now, maybe mental problems or physical problems, and or having very angry with this and that situations. So number one, we as a mind training practitioners, we wish for him to get free from it. Number one, this is mental help. And verbal help, look at the situation, if I can tell her or him about the situation and to comfort her to get free from it. Yes, with the sharing some dharma, if they can able to take in their level, please, that can help. If maybe maybe there's some, according to their level, share the things what they can really able to accept it. And then physically, maybe have to take some place, or yes, or maybe have to do something, yes. Or if you know it is not, it's not going to work, or if you see it is not working, then we have to back it out, because that's the really situation that we have to be very skillful in dealing with them. That's why when Buddha taught, right, there's one quote, one sutra I like to quote to you. This is just directly related with that. It says, Tunam Dikpa Chui Mitushins. Tunam means Buddhas, means not only Lord Buddha, there are many other Buddhas, Tunam. Dikpa means our negativities, negative karma, negative mind, my anger and jealousy or ignorance that I have now. So Dikpa. Chui Mitushins, they cannot be washed, they cannot be purified, they cannot wash, so it means Buddha cannot use the water to wash our negative karma and negative actions, negative state of mind. So it means same. I cannot clear, just like if this table is dirty, I can use some water to clean it up. But our negative action, if I have accumulated, I have to do something to purify it actually. You cannot do for me. Almost same as that, see, if I have some, if my stomach, let's say if I have a stomach cancer, you cannot take medicine to cure me. I have to take the medicine. Right? I have to take the medicine. I really have to take it now. No one can take it for me. This is also physical, but it's not give us very clear image. See, that's what Buddha said. Tunam dikpa chui me tushimi. The dikpa, which is a negative mind, anger, jealousy, hate, are the poison mind, and every imprint, every energy, every cause that I have created by that are within my mind cannot be purified by anybody else, only by me. That's tunam dikpa chui me tushi. Means he also says that Dowa is a sentient being like you and like myself or others. Dunge is a suffering, my suffering, sentient being, suffering of sentient beings, suffering of beings. Cha is a hand, Buddha's hand. Misela is removed. When the needle gets there, so you can use your some things to remove the needle. He says that human sentient being sufferings cannot be taken away by the Buddha's hand. Right? So that's called the suffering within my anger is a suffering. We're not talking about this type, just general type of suffering. He's talking about the anger is a suffering. Ignorance is a suffering. Jealousy is a suffering. Hate is a suffering. Those poisons are real suffering that exists within my mind. Buddha really cannot take away, like just taking things away, like the mug placing here. No, there's no way that can do. That's the nature of it. Not just Buddha doesn't want to do. Not Buddha, not any compassionate person doesn't want to do. It's just naturally it cannot do it. So, doye dunge chage mesela. Niji tokpa shenla po means Ni means they themselves, means the Buddha themselves. Niji. Tokpa means realization, dharma, protection, wisdom. Tokpa. Shenla means two. Shen is other, la means two, or in others. Pok means cannot place it like that. So means Buddha cannot take away their wisdom by their hand and put into your mind. That also cannot happen. That cannot do that. Buddha cannot take their wisdom and realization and put into others' mind. That's also impossible. Impossible. So, now last line says, Chuni Demba Dembetochurs means how Buddha help others, how Buddha benefit other sentient beings is by showing the truth, by showing the reality or the nature of the reality to others. And by that, and by teaching them, by sharing with them, and how to turn their mind, how to bring this meaning into their mind to free their mind from that poison, suffering. Free their mind from these poison and sufferings. So that this line is, I personally feel very helpful to understand that when we try to do things in this present world to help others, sometimes people could not get it. And sometimes we get frustrated and we get anger and we say, forget it now. And that's right. So that's his point. And then now I come back here and say, I'm also, yes, there's no way, right? This line, think about the first line that I share with you, second line and third line. What can I do? I can tell them, hope they can understand. If they don't understand, they're still not, right? So that's why I see, here, even when I received these teachings from my teacher, he used to say that if Buddha can purify our karma, if Buddha can remove our suffering like a needle like that, if Buddha can place his wisdom into our mind, and that had been done a long time ago, he would say that. If that is possible, this been happened for a long time ago. Buddha won't wait even 1 second to benefit other sentient beings. 1 second. If there is a condition and cause ripe to benefit others, enlightenment being will not waste even 1 second to do that. So I think this is a very important understanding in our life that we should have, even when we try to help even not far, even we try to help our friend or father or mother or children. It's get this kind of situation, and then we as a sentient being, we must have to bring this. See, I'm helping. I may receive this reaction or that reaction, and that should not be changing my mind position. Physical position, maybe I have to look how it is, which will be better, not good or bad, helpful or not helpful. But it must not change my position of mind, which is being kind, which is being loving, which is trying to be wishing for others. That should not be affecting at all. I should maintain that. And what is going on there in their mind, in their life, is also from their own karma and their own cause and condition. It's not because of my karma. He's experiencing sufferings, problems. I'm trying to help them. At the same time, I have understood this is happening not because of me. It is happening from their karma which they have accumulated in the past. And so now I should say, through this understanding, I should let my mind feel more kind, saying that now he is not knowing that his negative karma have arrived, and as a result he is going through that sufferings. Now I must let my mind to see that and feel more compassion for him. Sometimes people, when you help, they get even something, so then you should say, oh, out of ignorance, they are getting that kind of understanding. I should not get upset with it. It's okay. It's okay. So through this, we become someone to be able to protect or maintain our mind, at least maintain our mind in the positive state, and then do whatever we can. If we have to back up, then we just stop and slow down. But we must not stop having kind and the wishing mind towards those situations. Yes, please.
So I was going to ask the question of individual karmas until you said it, right? My question is then, how do we break away from past life karmas by trying to stay motivated in a positive mind in this current life? Like, how do we break away from things that past life karmas that we don't know what they are, we don't know what we did?
Are you talking about your karma or the?
Yeah, mine.
Oh, yeah. Here, this is the perfect situation that now you're bringing here. Your question and your question now. See, putting together, if I feel that situation, then if I get frustrated, then I may end up having some negative reaction or negative mind, and that becomes what? Instead of creating positive, at the same time, that situation I end up using to create negative karma. Okay, I use that situation, I turn that situation into condition for creating negative karma by me. So, coming back to your question now here, if I really maintain my positive state of mind that I have developed, kind mind or wishing mind for others, maintain continually, however, whatever reaction I face, whatever reaction I face with that situation, what happened in my life, this is, I really have created wonderful positive karma based on helping other sentient beings. That really becomes sincere helping, because I never stop wishing kind mind, which is the main thing. I never stop having a kind mind or wishing mind towards that person. And so, they, at the same time, I also purified with this action. I also come to purify the negative karma which are related with that type of situation which I've accumulated in the past, which I'm not aware of it, which I certainly purify that. This is one thing that we have to know here. Accumulating positive karma and purifying negative karma happens together. When I create positive action by being kind towards others, I will purify the negative karma that I have been mean towards others. This is how it's react. See, if I try to, kind mind creates the positive karma relating with that. At the same time, it purifies the negative karma which was created by being mean towards others. This goes together. So, how much I can purify it is up to my strength or capacity or level of that kind mind, but at no question, really no question, I certainly get to purify the negative karma that I have accumulated in the past by being mean, or also anger too. Anger is mean. So those negative, some negative karma that I've accumulated by that, been purified by that. That's why I'm saying it here. Here, when we maintain positive mind throughout my day, think about, see, how many positive causes I accumulate, like every second, every breath. And we are breathing over how many? 20 24 something thousands per day, according to tantric teachings. They teach us that. So that much of that much positive action we can accumulate. At the same time, we purify according to that same number. Now look at about, if I maintain my day with a negative state of mind, continually being mean, being unhappy, being blaming, being criticizing, so see, every moment. That's why my teacher used to say, these are all useless negative karma. I end up accumulating like a treasury. So treasury of my negative karma. We have any purpose and no meaning, no reason. And whatever reason that I'm using are very meaningless. Whatever reason or purpose that I'm saying is really not really purpose. And all but end up I'm getting is almost like a treasury. It becomes full with those negativities. So here you see, purifying negative karma and accumulating positive karma is goes together. So when I accumulate any negative karma, needless to say, I also disturb all of the previous my positive karma becomes weaker and things like that. So that's why and here another thing that I shared with you earlier here is see one of the nature of our life is accumulating karma, accumulating cause. Mind. We don't need to think about creating karma or creating positive karma or negative karma. We don't have to think about it. Moment my mind function positive action, it creates it. Moment my mind think about function negative actions, it just creates. So it just happened. It's just moment I plant seed in the field, if I plant the seed, it just planted. Right? So see, that's why when Buddha he described like our mind is like a field, the action is like planting the seed, positive or negative, and then that the term they use is a karma, but actually basically means is an action. In Tibetan we call le karma. Le in English is action. Right? So my mind action, my body's action, my speech action. So, okay.
Don't we create so many different good and bad karma, but how this karma sees the timing and condition to be right? How it happened?
You mean how it ripe?
Yeah, how it
in general here, there are powerful karma, there are less powerful karma, there are very less powerful karma. Karma falls into different categories, at least into 3 categories. Some of the karma that we accumulate is very powerful. Why? Example. Motivation is number 1. Number 2, when I do that, I'm really aware what I'm doing it. And at the end of that, I will say I did it. So that karma become very powerful, either negative or positive. There are many karma that I do accumulate good motivation, and when I actually do, my mind is like this. And when I finish doing that, I'm not really happy, or maybe so. That is, less powerful. I give you an example now, okay? Let's start with our own experience now, right? If somebody is really, when I develop anger towards someone, that's my negative motivation towards that person. And out of anger, I'll go and I'll say mean word to that person's. Something that I really like to retaliate. So I go and say it in front of the people and say maybe very strongly as much as I can. So I was doing very clearly. And after I finish, I'll say, good, I did it now, right? I'll say, good, I did it now. So that become one of the most powerful karma. Good powerful motivation. And when I was doing, I'm very aware. and did it with the full of energy, right? Full energy, and did it as hard as I can to hurt that person, and very end, I'm very happy. I'll say I did it. That become what? Most powerful karma. Since it's a negative, now we can say it is a most powerful negative karma. The positive side, same. Either compassion or loving kindness as a motivation, and then try to help someone, and the end of that action, I'll say I was very happy that I was able to do it. So now look at now which one is more powerful. In my own level, my own experience, anger, action, did it. Compassion, action, did it. So level it. So which one powerful? Right? This is just that one part. So here comes now. So the powerful karma is that. And some karma, no motivation, strong, good motivation, very weak motivation. And action still, but we do accumulate karma because we perform that action, but it's weak. And some is very weak. So in that sense, in that basis, what taught us here is that which can ripe easily is the most powerful karma can ripe easily. Most powerful karma can ripe easily than second one. And then from then, next one is more difficult. So that like. So also it says that among those most powerful karma, which one will be ripe easily? It says that more closer which I have accumulated can ripen easily. Which one I have accumulated? You say if I have a most powerful negative 2 karma that I have accumulated, one is yesterday, one is day before yesterday, and yesterday's most powerful negative karma has more chances to ripe easily than day before negative karma because of that the timing. And now, what makes them to ripe? What makes them to ripe? What stops them to ripe is at this time is my positive way of thinking. My positive way of thinking. See, if my way of viewing things, if I turn my mind always view things more kind way, positive way, and that will, really always move towards positive karmas to ripe. If my mind turns into really, negative way of thinking, like in angering way, or jealousy feeling, or criticizing feeling, or blaming feeling, frustrating feeling, all that, those feelings, those way of viewing will go towards the negative karma to ripe. So, and that, see, it very details, of course, it's very hard to talk about, very hard to say, but this is general how karma can, among those negative karma and as well as the positive karma, how usually they ripe is in that way. So, that's why I see at this level what control I have, what power I have in my life at this time is try to develop and maintain my positive way of thinking as much as I can. Hope it will only fertilizing to positive karma to ripe. So at the same time, as I share with you, if I do this way, my negative karma can get purified. And when we experience purification of the negative karma, there are some different ways to purify. We'll talk about it later, but this is another way. But there are some negative karma can purify it by experiencing some difficulties. So that negative karma could not ripe in my next or future lives, and it also cannot be purified without experiencing its result at all. So sometimes our negative karma also ripen in some small sufferings within this life. Through that, it gets to purified completely. But while I maintain my positive state of mind. The karma is very tricky. again, is very tricky and is very profound. When we talk about the way, the types of karma, types of result of the karma, as well as the way of ripening, it's a very subtle. And even in one of the sutra, when Buddha talk about saying the one, in general, in Buddhism, they talk about different topic, which is one of the topic they call emptiness, and everyone thinks that emptiness is a very subtle and hard or profound subject. But one of the Buddhist teachings says that in the terms of realizing and in terms of understanding, the knowing the types of the karma in every level, gross, subtle, very subtle level, is even more harder than understanding of emptiness. Okay.
But Rinpoche, if my karma is my negative karma is very heavy, so even I instruct myself that keep the positive mind, but that positive mind may still not stopping my heavy karma to be.
Say it again.
What I'm saying that if my negative karma is very heavy, so what you say before, you say like to instruct my karma to be ripened as based on the good motivation or the
way of thinking, my way of thinking, helping condition.
Yeah, but if my karma is very heavy, even that I keep the positive mind, it's still happening.
No. If there is no helping condition to negative karma, no matter how powerful that is, it will not ripe. Yes.
But that helping condition is still considered as part of my karma, am I right?
No. That's not a helping condition. Is your present, like fertilizing, like watering over the seed. See, doesn't matter how good seed you have there. If there's no any fertilization, no matter how good seed or how huge seed that you have, it will not ripe. Similar, no matter how heavy or strong negative karma I have now in my mind, as long as I don't fertilize them, it will not ripe. Karma cannot ripe without helping condition. Two conditions, seed, the flower, first seed, and second is fertilization, which is a helping condition. Water, dirt, sun, wind, all together is a helping condition, and the seed is the root of it. So without these two, this will not happen. Even good seed, without helping condition, no flower. Similar, our karma, even as a positive karma, is powerful in a positive karma that I have accumulated in my beginning of the life. In my end of the life, if I started to only do negative actions, negative way of thinking, that positive karma will remain in my mind, will not ripe. So it's not, the bottom line is there, no helping condition towards negative karma, and the negative karma will not ripe. If there's no helping condition towards positive karma, that positive karma will not ripe.
In the teaching it says if you get rid of craving for existence, that will get rid of...
That's talking much deeper level. We're talking about the emptiness.
Okay, but so craving for that specific thing, if you get rid of that, that will get rid of that specific karma? Is that what you're saying?
More than that. That's you're talking about the emptiness here. When we develop emptiness, which is an understanding of emptiness, which removes the craving or grasping both, and that removes the entire basis where karma usually remain in my mind.
Okay, but you're saying helping condition. What is the helping condition?
Way of your thinking. At this level, we are very weak in understanding of emptiness. So our grasping or craving mind is remaining so strong, and at this time, the helping condition is not letting my mind to think negative in way, not letting my body and my physical action, not letting my body into creating a negative action, not letting my also speech into performing negative actions. Negative actions are that becomes not fertilizing or not creating helping condition to grow our negative karma. So whatever negative karma is already ripe, that cannot change. That will ripe. is, whatever negative karma is already ripening, that will continue to ripe. Whatever negative karma that I've already fertilized before, those will ripe continually. Those will ripe continually. But since I'm not creating, since I'm not developing a new negative helping condition, so it means my new negative karma, there's no new helping condition I'm providing to ripe new negative karma at this point. Okay, so now we have only 7 or 8 minutes. Okay, so we'll see. We'll try maybe today. How many minutes we can meditate? Let's. Now, first meditation, please place your body at comfortable position. Let your body relax. Any thoughts, any frustration, any kind of thought, let just simply go away. Just relax now. Now bring breathing into your mind as an object. So now just simply focusing on breathing, but breathe normally. Simply bring breathing in your mind as object. Now slowly we are going to bring karma in your mind as an object. Karma, action, seed, potential. positive karma, negative karma. Think about when my mind feels anger, that action instantly, immediately create action. It is action, and that is negative action, negative karma. Let your mind see negative action of developing anger. Now think about developing compassion. And creating action at the same time. Positive action, positive karma. Let your mind see now positive karma. Now seeing these two, negative karma, action, positive karma, positive action. Now these two are certain of giving result. Negative action only give negative result. Positive karma only give positive result. Negative result is suffering. Positive result, happiness. It is certain. Help your mind to see this is certain. With realizing this, now please generate determination in your mind that says, I will only accumulate positive action, no negative action. I will try. I will try my best to keep this determination to create only positive action, positive karma. Out of this determination, now please slowly rise from this meditation practice.
The ground.
Sprinkle with perfume and spread with the flowers, the great mountains, four lands, and sun and Buddha, the sea as Buddha land, and offer this. May all beings enjoy such a pure land. Guru Ratna Mandela Kamniyataya. Dedication, please. By this virtue, may I quickly achieve the level of Buddha and lead every sentient being without exception to their enlightened states. May all sentient beings who are like my fathers and mothers enjoy happiness. May their whole realms always be empty and bodhisattvas dwell everywhere. May every one of their prayers be accomplished.
May the precious Supreme Buddhi mind grow where it has grown, where it is grown, may it not decrease, but flourish forevermore. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.